Welcome friends. In Unit 3, we have been discussing the various steps in the advertising process, and you would recall that up till now we have covered 3 steps, the first 3 steps in entirety, and as far as the 4th step, that is the media decision, is concerned, we have completed our discussion on reach, frequency and impact and media type as well as media vehicle. Now we are going to move over to scheduling, and in scheduling we'll be talking about basically macro scheduling as well as micro scheduling. So let us understand what we mean by macro scheduling. I hope you remember from our discussion in macroeconomics what we mean by macro and how macroeconomics is different from microeconomics. Likewise, macro scheduling is different from micro. Micro is at a smaller level while the macro is at a on larger scale. So that is why macro scheduling and micro scheduling. So let us understand what we mean by macro scheduling. See, scheduling in relation to seasons and business cycles is known as macro scheduling. So for example, up till now we have taken a call regarding what would be the advertising message that we'll have. We have designed the messages. We have discussed and decided what would be our media type, and within the media type which specific media vehicle we would be using. Now what we have to do is basically we have to look into the timings at which our advertising message would be shown to our target audience. So up till now we have discussed the vehicle and the type, but now we have to discuss the timings basically. When are we going to show our ads? So up till now we were discussing where were we going to show our ads. We were going to show our ads on a particular channel, so that was the media vehicle decision, or through print media, so that was the media type decision. Now what we have to decide is what time exactly would I be showing my ads, and that is what media timing is all about, right? So as far as scheduling is concerned, we have to basically talk about the media timings, and within that we have got macro as well as micro scheduling. Macro would mean scheduling in relation to season and business cycles. So what we are going to decide here, which season will I show my ad? Would I be showing my ad in winters? Would I be showing my ad in particular months, let's say the summer months, April, May, June? Would I be showing it during the autumn, during the raining season? So exactly which season? Or would I be showing my ad across the year, throughout the year, not only in a particular season? So that is what we have to decide in macro scheduling. Then would I be showing my ad when there is the prosperity phase? I hope you remember our discussion on business cycles from macroeconomics. There are 4 different stages. I hope you remember: recovery, depression, prosperity. So there are 4 different stages. So which stage of the business cycle should I advertise more, and which scale of business cycle should I not advertise at all? So deciding this particular stage when you would be showing your ads, or deciding the particular months when you would be showing your ads, this basically is macro scheduling. Now what is micro scheduling? I'll give you a quick brief introduction to micro scheduling. Now you have decided the months. Let's say you have decided that you would be showing your ads in the summer months of April, May and June. Within these summer months, which particular day of the week would you be showing your ad? Would you be showing your ad throughout the week, all the 7 days, or would you be showing your ads only on the weekends, let's say Saturday or Sunday, or only on the weekdays, Monday to Friday? Within a particular day, would you be showing your ad in the evening? Would you be showing your ad in the morning? Would you be showing it during the noon, or maybe somewhere around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the evening, late night? So this is micro scheduling. So I hope you now get the difference between macro scheduling and micro scheduling. So macro scheduling is with respect to seasons, with respect to different stages in the business cycle. Micro scheduling is which particular day in the week and which particular hour of the day, morning hours or late night hours. So that is what micro scheduling is all about, right? So as far as macro scheduling, macro scheduling is concerned, we have to basically decide in context of which particular season or which particular stage in the business cycle, right? Now there are different approaches to macro scheduling. Now let us understand these approaches. The third approach is basically constant throughout, which means you are showing your ads throughout the season or throughout the business cycle. So there is no particular stage in the business cycle, there is no particular month of the year wherein you are showing your ads. Throughout the season, throughout the year, in all the seasons you are showing your ads. So that is why this kind of strategy is called constant throughout. In the coming sessions we'll understand where this kind of strategy will work, but I'll just give a brief idea. Supposing you are selling a product which sells throughout the year. For example, ice creams generally sell in the summer months. On the other hand, let's say supposing you are selling pencils and pens, they would be getting sold throughout the year. So in such cases, products which get sold throughout the year, it is a better idea for you to go for this kind of a strategy. You show ads throughout the year or through all the stages of the business cycle, rather than concentrating your ads on a particular stage of the business cycle or in few months of the year. You would be showing it throughout the year or throughout the different stages of the business cycle. So that is the strategy number one, which we have discussed. Now what are the other two strategies? Follow the seasonal pattern. What do we mean by this? This means that supposing, let's take example of an ice cream, and you know that ice creams generally get sold in the summer months. So you would also follow the seasonal pattern of sales. So you would also advertise during the summer months of April, May and June. Now this is following the seasonal pattern, and there is a logic behind this because predominantly the sales are coming during April, May and June. So you are also showing your ads during those 3 months. So this is the logic behind following the seasonal pattern. But then what is the logic behind the exactly opposite strategy, which is opposing the seasonal pattern? Now what do we mean by this? I'll again take an example of ice cream. So the ice creams are getting sold in April, May, June, but you are not advertising in these 3 months. You are advertising your product maybe in the winter months, maybe somewhere around October, November, December. So you are opposing the seasonal pattern. Let's take an example of AC. Suppose you are a marketer of an AC, and you know that the ACs would generally get sold somewhere around March to somewhere around September, October. So you would not be advertising during this time period. You would be advertising rather during the off season, that is somewhere around October, November to somewhere around February. So you are in a way opposing the seasonal sales pattern. So your advertising pattern is exactly opposite of the seasonal sales pattern. Is that making sense? Now again, there's a logic behind this. In the season, the sales are automatically taking place. However, you don't want your stock of unsold products to pile up during the off season, because if there are no ice creams or no ACs selling during the winter months, what will happen? The stocks would start piling up. You would not have sufficient space to store these stocks. They would not get sold. So what you do is, to generate demand during the off season, you go for this kind of a pattern and you advertise more during the off season and less during the season. So these are the different strategies that you have. Now let us talk about the other aspects that you have to take into account before deciding the macro schedule. So what are the other aspects? We'll take them up one by one. The first aspect that you have to be very, very careful about is the ad carryover rate. Now what do we mean by the ad carryover rate? See, ad carryover rate basically is for how much time would your audience remember your advertising message. So that is the ad carryover rate. This has been mentioned here, rate of retention of the ad memory. If, for example, if you are advertising today, let's say it is October, and if you advertise your product today, and the audience remembers your advertising message even in the month of February, so the ad carryover rate is almost 4 to 5 months. On the other hand, if you advertise today, but the audience tends to forget within 1 month, so the ad carryover rate is much less. So is that understood now? So once you know what is the ad carryover rate, you have to do what? You have to then include this information while taking a call on the macro schedule. And how is it to be done? Please understand. See, the second line mentions that the ad carryover rate is directly proportional to lead time for advertisement. What do we mean by this? The more the audience retains the memory of your ad, or in other words, the higher is the carryover rate, the greater can be the lead time. What do we mean by this? This means that, for example, if I know my product gets sold in April, if I start advertising in the month of March, so the lead time is 1 month. Lead time is the time gap between when I'm showing my ad and when the customer is purchasing my product. So that is the lead time. But if you know that the ad carryover rate is very, very high, which means the people, the target audience tend to remember your ad, tend to retain the memory of your ad for 4 months, and you know that your product is going to get sold in the month of April, and your target audience retains the memory of your ad for 4 months, you are not going to advertise in the month of April, but you would start advertising in the month of December. Why? Because the ad that has been shown in the month of December, that would be retained for the next 4 months by the audience. We have seen that the audience retains the memory of your ad for 4 months. So by the time it is April and they have to go out in the market to buy your product, they will still remember your ad, they will still retain the memory of your advertising message. On the other hand, let's take another example. I am selling something in the month of April, but I know that the audience would only be able to retain my ad in their memory for just 1 week, and I have to start selling my product. Let's say I am releasing a film on 1st of April, and I know that the audience is not going to retain the memory of my ad message for more than a week. Or in other words, the ad will only be retained, the advertising message will only be retained by the target audience in their memory for just 1 week. So what will I do? I would start advertising only on 25th of March, because if my target audience sees my ad on 25th of March, they will still be able to retain the memory of this ad till 1st of April. I would not in this case start advertising in the month of February, because I know that since the audience retains the memory only for 1 week, so if I do something on 5th of February, they would forget my advertising message by the time it is 12th of February. So I would start advertising just 1 week prior to the intended release of my movie, whatever film I am releasing. So the film is going to get released on 1st of April, so I'll start advertising on 25th of March, right? Here, since the ad carryover rate was less, people, in the case of my second example, movies, people retain the memory of ad only for 1 week. So the lead time for my advertisement is also going to be just 1 week. On the other hand, if the ad carryover rate is very high, you can start advertising much earlier and your lead time can be higher. So the lead time will be directly proportional to the ad carryover rate, which means if one is high, the other can also be on the higher side. Again, one more thing that you have to keep into account is whether the product is habitual purchase or not. If the product is a habitual purchase, right, people tend to purchase it on a regular basis because this has now become part of their habit, then you are going to go for steadier advertising expenditure. What do we mean? Steadier means there are no ups and downs, there are no extreme values. You are advertising almost at the same rate throughout the year because the product is being purchased out of habit on a regular basis. Is that making sense? For example, we can take an example of salt. So salt or toothpaste, these are habitual purchases. You tend to purchase on a regular basis out of habit. And that is why the advertising expenditure has to be steadier, which means the advertiser advertisements have to be shown throughout the year, and they should not be concentrated in a particular month of the year or few months of the year. They should be shown throughout the year, because the product that you are selling is a habitual purchase. Is that making sense? Now that we have discussed and we have completed our discussion on macro scheduling, in the next session that we'll have, we'll move over to micro scheduling. Thank you very much for your time.